Hello, welcome back. In this lesson, we're going to start talking about color theory. And as I mentioned, I'm not going to go into huge details because it's a very big subject, but I will try to give you the basic information so that you can complete this class. So this is the color wheel, and there are many versions of the color wheel. There are bigger ones and different ones depending on what you are interested on. But this is the one you will find more often, and you can find it easily in an art shop or online, for example. And this shows you the colors and the color harmonies, which we are going to talk about a little bit later. So the primary colors are red, yellow, and blue. And then if we combine two primaries, so the red and yellow, we have orange. And then red and blue, we get violet. And the yellow and blue, we get green. And then if we combine one primary and one secondary color, we get a tertiary color. So if we combine red with orange, we get red-orange. And if we mix, let me move this a little bit. So if we mix yellow, which is a primary, with orange, which is a secondary, let me put it a bit closer, we get the yellow-orange. So that's how it works in theory. However, this is not how it works in practice, or, usually, because when you have your primary colors, they're not actually pure primaries. So when you have a red, it's not just red, but it has a so-called color bias. So some reds tend toward the orange and some reds tend towards the violet. So when you mix a red and a blue to get a violet color, you have to be careful which colors you are using. So for example, I have added this to your downloads, so you can download it and print it if you like. These are some of the Winsor & Newton colors which have a color bias. So for example, the cadmium scarlet, it's a red with a tendency to orange, while the permanent rose is a red with a tendency to a violet. And the blues, we have cerulean blue, which is a green blue, so it's got a tendency to green, and the French ultramarine has a tendency to violet. So if you want to have a very vibrant violet color, then you need to mix these two, this is tendency to violet, this has a tendency to violet. So when you mix them, you have a nice violet. If you mix these two, which have a tendency to orange and to green, then you will have a sort of muddy violet color, which you might want actually, because if you're painting, for example, landscapes, then in the shadow areas, you might want that sort of muddy kind of violet color, because you don't want to do the shadows black, of course. You want to have that sort of violet color. So it depends on what you really want to do. But it's important that you know this, because if you mix colors just like that without having no idea what you're doing and expect to have a color and then something else comes out, then you will be frustrated and you don't know what's happening. So this theory of the color bias has been studied and described really well by someone called Michael Wilcox. I'm not sure if you heard of him, but he actually wrote this book, Blue and Yellow Don't Make Green, which explains what I've been talking about. So this is his theory, and don't want to say I discovered this, because he did. And this book goes over what I just said, but in lots more details, and there's lots of exercises. So if you are interested in finding out more about color bias, you can buy this book. I think you should find it on Amazon. There is also a Michael Wilcox website. You can have a look there. And of course, you can always experiment with your colors. If you only have 3 primaries, get your 3 primaries and mix them. I can show you actually. in here, I have taken 3 primaries, quinacridone, magenta, French ultramarine, and Winsor lemon, and mixed them. And all these colors are all from these 3 primaries, and these ones as well. I just kept mixing and finding new colors. And then I got permanent rose, Winsor blue, red shade, and quinacridone gold. And I mixed them and I obtained these colors, which are a bit more subdued. And these colors are also from these 3. So as you can see, you can reach quite a huge amount of colors with just 3 primaries. So if you have different primaries, or if you just have 3, mix them and experiment, play with them, and you will see that you will find lots and lots of colors. And you can make some color swatches like these ones, so with your own colors, and you can have it as a record of your colors. In the next lesson, we are going to talk about the color harmonies. So I'll see you in the next lesson.